So this is a very quick video about the differences, the three main differences between serous and mucinous cystadenoma of the pancreas. So let's start with the serous cystadenoma. This case is an example of serous cystadenoma of the pancreas. The first difference is the size of the cyst and its locules. Serous cystadenoma is microcystic cyst, microcystic lesion. Both of them are multiloculated, but serous cystadenoma is microcystic. So we've got here on the multi-detector CT scan, multiloculated microcystic lesion located at the pancreatic neck. Okay? However, here, this is an example of mucinous cystadenoma of the pancreas. We've got a macrocystic lesion, a large mass, a large macrocystic lesion extending from the left upper quadrant, starting from here and extending from the left upper quadrant to the mid abdomen, and the lesion is very large and with macrocysts and causing mass effect on the other abdominal structures, causing mass effect, displacing the liver and the pancreas medially and displacing the kidneys posteriorly. So this was the first key difference, the size. The second key difference is the content. Okay? In serous cystadenoma, the locules of the multiloculated mass contains material of homogeneous signal intensity. So on CT scan, as you can see here, all the locules contains material of homogeneous signal intensity. Here, all the locules of the mass contains homogeneous signal intensity. Here, homogeneous density and homogeneous signal intensity on MRI. Okay? So what about in mucinous cystadenoma? It's a very characteristic finding of mucinous cystadenoma to find a mass made up of multiple locules of varying signal intensity, of varying density, as this case. This is a CT scan, so the mass is made up of multiple locules of varying density. How to detect the varying density? You can detect it on the non-contrast image. Okay, so this locule density is 0, here 28. Okay, so you can spot the varying density here. it won't be very clear on the post-contrast. So I recommend going to the pre-contrast to detect the varying densities. Okay. And also, in this case, there are septations. The leukocyte is separated by septi, showing contrast on the post-contrast images, and there are soft tissue component seen peripherally that shows enhancement on the post-contrast image. The soft tissue component here was its density was 65, and after contrast it's 79. So of course it's enhancing. So the third key difference between the serous cystadenoma and the mucinous is the ductal connection or communication of the mass. So how to know if the mass is communicating with the pancreatic duct or not? Of course, the only possibility is to do MRCP. So you should recommend MRCP once you see a cystic lesion in the pancreas. That's why you need to recommend MRCP. So in serous cystadenoma, there is no ductal connection or communication is seen. The mass is seen separable, will be seen separable from the pancreatic duct. It won't be seen communicated with the pancreatic duct. Okay, so when you go through the cuts, you will recognize that the mass shows no connection with the pancreatic duct. Okay. However, in this case, in mucinous cystadenoma, you can see the connection of the mass on MRI, as in this case, and if you perform MRCP, it will be clearly demonstrated the connection of the mass with the pancreatic duct, denoting this is mucinous cyst adenoma. So if you diagnose the mass, if you diagnosed mucinous cystadenoma in FR-CR exam, okay, the interpretation will be the findings represent a neoplastic multilocular mass of mixed fluid and solid components arising from the pancreas. So you need to comment that the mass is a neoplastic because it's of mixed fluid and solid components. Solid components means that the mass is neoplastic, okay, arising from the pancreas. You can say the present a neoplastic mass arising from the pancreas. It's multilocular with mixed fluid and solid component. So the principal diagnosis, either macrocystic mucinous cystadenoma of the pancreas, okay, or microcystic serous cystadenoma of the pancreas. Differential diagnosis. So if you spotted macrocystic mucinous cystadenoma, you should differentiate it from microcystic serous cystadenoma. Okay. Okay, so how do we? The main three differences in size, content, and ductal connection. So it will be differentiated from the microcystic serous cystadenoma by the three main differences in size, content, and ductal connection. And if you spotted serous or mucinous cystadenoma, you need to differentiate it from the cystadenocarcinoma. Okay, cystadenocarcinoma of the pancreas. Okay, cystadenocarcinoma will show enlarged lymph nodes or any kind of mets, bony mets or parenchymal, hepatic parenchymal mets, or lymphatic metastasis. Any kind of mets will suggest serous or mucinous cystadenocarcinoma of the pancreas. Or the third differential diagnosis is pancreatic pseudocyst. Pancreatic pseudocyst should be associated with any features of acute pancreatitis or any history of pancreatitis or radiological features of pancreatitis. The management here: alert referring physician of the findings and refer for discussion at hepatobiliary MDT. So anything related to the pancreas, any pancreatic lesion or any hepatobiliary lesion, you need to refer for discussion at hepatobiliary MDT. Hepatobiliary MDT regarding further management. And in this case, the patient likely will require surgical excision because of the mass effect. So the your referral for discussion at hepatobiliary MDT is important to the patient to check if the patient is amenability of the patient for resection. Is the patient is ready or is amenable for surgical resection or not? As surgical excision is the mainstay of treatment here, okay, because of the mass effect of the mucinous cystadenoma or cystadenocarcinoma, okay. So that's all for